Where's YouTube? Where is Facebook? There's Facebook. All right. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. Thank God, Friday. Excited for what God has for us. Looking forward to the weekend. We've got Louis and Bless. Excuse me. We have Louis and Bless with their baby shower. And please remember to pray for Miss Bless. It's been she gave excuse me. Last time she was pregnant, she had the last semester. She had a lot of issues with it. The last trimester, she had a lot of issues with it and health issues. And so, please keep her in prayer. We're doing the baby shower tomorrow. Excited about that. Looking forward to what God has for that. We just finished up our Valentine's banquet and Love Focus Week. Again, I'm still not certain what to call that. I'm still looking at that. I don't want it to sound worldly, but I also want to understand. I want people to understand the focus. And as Pastor Rusty told us, love is hard sometimes, and so I want to keep that in the picture. But excited, and so please be in prayer for our church and the events. But this morning, what I'm thankful for is Thank God Friday. I know it's Thank God Friday, and I'm thankful for it. I'm excited for it. When I started Thank God Friday, I started it as a way to keep the church together, to reach out to the church, the people of the church. It was during COVID. We weren't able to meet. I was still doing services online, but I was looking for a way to connect with, to touch, to be with the people a little bit more, to keep us all together as that family. And so I started Thank God Friday. I heard a lot of people saying, thank God it's Friday. And I was like, well, let's take Friday, instead of being thankful for the day itself, let's be thankful for something each day, each Friday. And it kind of grew from there. Last year I stopped it as Facebook has changed the way we do our live streams. We've had to move everything over to YouTube, and that's added a layer of technology which I wasn't ready for. And so I stopped it, and then this year, beginning of the year, I got back into it, and I missed it. And that's kind of why I'm thankful for Thank God Friday. I was talking to a pastor friend the other day, and he was talking about another pastor friend of ours who does a 1 minute every day, does 1 minute, and he said he's looked at doing stuff like that. He's thought about it, but it's so much work. And now, what God's called us to shouldn't be work. There is work involved, and there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of heart, there's a lot of, we again, the Valentine's banquet and revival we had this week. Love takes work. But sometimes we're called to do things. We do things not because that's what God's called us to do, but because we think we should. The world's doing it, everybody else is doing it. It's something we think we have to do for salvation. I'm taking those out of context, but there's a lot of things in our life that we add, not because God wants it there, but because we think it should be there or we want it there. And so when I stepped away from Thank God Friday, I was feeling a little overwhelmed. A lot of stuff going on. Again, the technology changes required for me to continue doing Thank God Friday. And as I talked with this pastor, I realized he was facing the same struggles. He was looking at something that everybody else was doing that maybe God wasn't calling him to do yet, or now, or ever. I know many pastors who have amazing ministries, who reach many people, who are doing so many different things that aren't doing a weekly or a daily devotion. And it's not for everybody. If that's something God's called you to, then do it. If something God hasn't called you to, don't do it just because everybody else is doing it. And it's the same thing in our Christian life. There's so much there that we put there because we think that's what's supposed to be there, and we become miserable because it's not what God has asked us to put in our life. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. And so sometimes God calls some of us to certain things, or He asks us to put things in our life. If you're doing something and you're miserable, look at it. Ask it, is this something God has asked me to put in my life? Or is it something I'm putting there because I think it should be there? And sometimes it's something God wants us to have in our life, but we don't have time for it, or we don't have the energy or the resources for it because there's other things in our life that shouldn't be there. And so I'm thankful for Thank God Friday. I got back into it. I was excited about it. I enjoy doing it. It's not work for me. And you know, we've heard the saying, find something you love doing and it will never be work. There are things in our life that are work, and there should be work. There should be an effort. There should be a cost to it. Again, God loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son. His love for us extended to him stepping out of heaven, to sending his Son to die on the cross for us. Love has a cost, and if you love doing it, it's going to cost something. And if you've got too many things going on that God hasn't given you, you're going to lose some of that focus and joy in doing what you love that God has called us to. Days are temporary, but if it's a long-term thing, ask yourself, is this something God has for us? Look at what you're doing. Love what you're doing. God has a purpose and a plan in all of it. And sometimes it's just for us, and sometimes it's for everybody around us. So this morning, I'm thankful for Thank God Friday. I'm thankful for all that God has done and will do. Looking forward to Sunday and all of that. But I hope you have something in your life that brings you joy, that God has placed there, that God is using to grow you and to grow the others around you. And if not, ask yourself, where's my joy at? Hope you'll have a great Friday. Looking forward to Sunday. Looking forward to this weekend. Y'all have a good day. God bless.